Hey, we are here for another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. We got Kelly Cook in the house.
Here as always, Elizabeth. Glad to be here.
All right. I'm glad to see you. So, we are kind of wrapping up our 5-part series that we did on how to really get started launching your real estate career effectively.
Mhm.
We've covered, everything from getting your mindset and routine right, maximizing your CRM, how your database is really your piggy bank, managing your performance, and then now we're on to secrets to lead generation and conversion. That's one of the founding principles of real estate and being
Yep.
successful in your career.
No doubt
Um,
about it.
so do you want to explain a little bit what your secrets are and kind of your first step toward getting those leads, and then we'll talk about converting them?
Yeah, totally. Well, number one, the segmentation that we've done so far to get to this point of lead conversion, talk about lead generation, lead conversion, it's been great because a lot of stuff piggybacks on top of each other. So, for example, you need the track, right, to be able to know how to convert, right, and so on and so forth. But we already did that podcast in the past, so we're not going to spend any time on that. Um, the first thing I'll say is now you need to get people into your database, your CRM, right? And you need to then follow up with them, nurture them, and have a process for doing so. Like ours is called our follow-up ecosystem. All right. So there are two. There's a concept out there of data versus leads, right? And I don't think it's either or. I think it's and, right? I think you should have data and you should have leads. Now, if someone says, "Well, I don't have any money to buy leads," then data is perfect for you. Okay. Because let's pretend you have no money, right? If that's the case, then you can buy data from your title company. Excuse me. You can get data from a title company,
You
right?
don't have to
For
buy
free.
it if you have no money.
Exactly. You go to your local title or escrow company and you ask them for some information on certain lists. Okay. And there's all kinds of different lists. There are absentee owner lists. There are probate lists. There are expired lists. Now, a lot of stuff does cost money. And for the easy button, you'll want to pay a company that aggregates all that data with phone numbers, with emails, with landlines, all that stuff for you. But again, we're talking bottom line here, right? If you have nothing, but you can still get started. Okay, you can still get started. So you go to a title company, you get people that just live around an open house, and if your title company can't figure out how to get you any numbers associated with those addresses, then you can go create a really cheap flyer, or not if you can't even afford paper and ink, and just go knock on the door without the flyer. Okay. Now you should have business cards. If you don't have enough money to at least get business cards, then you probably shouldn't be in real estate, or you should be on a team that actually helps provide all this stuff for you, right? That's
Hmm.
another whole other solution for you, because they don't need any money and it's all provided for you, the top notch stuff, like on our team here. But if you're an individual and you have no money, but you have business cards, you can knock on doors around an open house. And you can give them your card as a leave behind if they don't answer. You could do a post-it note, okay? You could get post notes. Those are super cheap, right? Go to Target, buy a stack of 1,000 post-it notes in a little sticky thing, right? And just handwrite, "I have a buyer who wants to buy your house cash. Please call me for details, your name." And rip off a post-it note, stick it on the front door, and don't even knock on the door if you're scared to talk to them, right?
And
You could
that
do that.
seems like a little bit cheap, but I mean, obviously you're not spending much money, but that almost
Right.
seems really personal too. Like, hey, here's a sticky note. I just thought of you right now. Like, I'm leaving this
Yeah.
on your door. So,
And you can split
yeah.
test those messages, right? You could do the same thing with post-it note, and you could say the other message could be, because maybe you don't know anybody who would ever even possibly buy in that neighborhood for some reason, right? Then you can have another message, right, that says values in your neighborhood have gone through the roof over the last several years. Do you wonder, or do you know what your house is currently worth? Your name, call me, phone number, right? Now, again, because you're not spending money, it's sweat equity, right? It's one or the other. So it's going to take a while. Your hand's going to hurt a little bit, writing all that on post notes. So we want to keep it short and sweet as much as possible with your name and number on it. But it's effective. And if you're not going to spend the money, then spend the time and do that thing. Now, if you do have a little bit of money, or you're with the team that hopefully provides some sort of systems for you and data and whatnot, then you have the aggregators of the data, a Redx or a Vulcan 7, or a Cole Realty Resource, a Land Voice, right? These places that aggregate this data with phone numbers, and they can give them to you, and then you can then call, mail, knock on the door, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's the next level, right? Now, the people on that data list probably are not expecting your phone call, right? So, but it's the next best thing. if you want to go one step further because you have some money or you're, again, on a team that provides this stuff, the next best thing is to then buy leads. All right. You can buy them off multiple different sources. Like in our team here, we buy them off Google pay-per-click. We do have obviously some organic Google leads as well. We do Facebook, Craigslist. You can do Bing. There's no shortage of Yelp. I mean, there's no shortage of these places where eyeballs are located in which you can purchase or get leads from them, right? So once you have those leads, which is the highest cost for a name, number, email, address, phone number, etc., then those go in your database and you work them. Okay. Hopefully your message is such with the lead source that you are purchasing that they want to act fairly quick. But the reality is most people will not, right? So you got to stay in touch, nurture them, and the person who's okay with the boredom over time wins. So anyways, that's data versus leads. I think you should have both. But if you're restricted by financial situations, then start with data and then work your way up. Or again, my opinion, I'm not trying to sell it because I have one, but join a team that provides this stuff and you can you can dive right into the deep end day one.
Both feet in and start. You have like a leg up almost if you're yes. Question 2, you mentioned Facebook, buying leads off of Facebook and so forth. But if we go back to thinking about when we were adding people into our CRMs and we were pulling some of our data, can you use people that you know that aren't necessarily cold leads and kind of use them to create lead generation as well on like Facebook messengers, things like that, kind of getting in touch with those people who aren't exactly cold leads, but maybe you haven't had that kind of conversation with them before?
Love it. Okay, so let's talk about that really quick, right? Again, this could be a whole podcast just on its own, but let's talk about that really quick. So Facebook and Instagram create a lot of eyeballs, right? That's where everyone's at, right? Across the demographics. And obviously a little bit older demographics on Facebook, a little bit younger on Instagram, but they do cross-sect quite a bit. Okay. You can pay, as you guys may or may not know, obviously you can go on and do leads and buy leads through Facebook by hiring a company that goes out and does it for you and provides you leads, right? But you pay per click or pay a flat fee to that company, or you can do it yourself if you have the knowledge and time invested to learn this and then pull your credit card and pay. But organically, you can also drive leads like you mentioned, Elizabeth. So I'm glad you brought this up because if you don't have a ton of money, there are 2 strategies I can give you really quick here in which you can generate leads for free off Facebook. Number 1, through direct messenger. Guys, that is where the digital marketing for leads and conversation is going, okay? It's going to DM, the messenger app on Facebook or through Instagram. So what you could do is make it a point to time block every day at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever it may be to direct message 5 people, maybe 10 if you're really aggressive, right? A day with a message you can copy and paste, obviously change the name out, right? That'd be
that'd be a little awkward.
But you do that and the message can be something as simpler as you ask and then you give, right? So you simply say, hey, this is so-and-so with such and such brokerage or whatever team. And then I would comment on something they're doing on Facebook. Hey, I saw you went to Disneyland with the kids, last week. I hope that was awesome. Looked amazing. Can't wait to go, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Small talk for a second. And then that's part you have to obviously switch out per the message, per the person, obviously, right? It goes without saying. But then it's like, hey, just FYI, I am in real estate. I've been doing it for X amount of years or whatever the case may be. And please keep in mind if you know of anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I could help. By the way, if I can also help you in your business of insurance or whatever it is, right? Please let me know. Be happy to try to keep my eyes and ears open for any referrals for you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Now you copy and paste that 5 times a day, 10 times a day, whatever it may be through Messenger. Okay. That's a big one. It's more personal through Messenger and it will get opened eventually. Okay. Some people don't have it right on their home screen or right of their apps, but they'll get it. The second thing is groups. Okay. Groups on Facebook are huge. Guys, remember, the only reason we're on Facebook to begin with is because that's where the eyeballs are, right? Okay. So within the big platform of Facebook, where all the eyeballs are, you have groups where there's a lot of eyeballs too. And they like certain subjects or certain topics, swap or, classic cars or whatever it may be. So what you do is you search certain groups for Facebook groups and Facebook will deliver that stuff for you. You start typing in like your city group or closed, and then I'll give you the results of all the big groups, right? So you start picking them and start with the ones with the most eyeballs. 54,000 members, 76,000 members, whatever, right? All the way down to, a couple thousand members maybe. And then you make it a point to then, you can sign up and be in the group, no problem. So then what you do, make it a point, you go in there and then you post once every week or so, okay, a ad or just a post. It's not an ad, it's a post in the group for, let's say, all homes with pools in Scottsdale, Arizona, whatever it may be, right? You can pick your little search there, but you pick one, right? And what you do is then you go. So how do you do that? Well, you should have a CRM that has search attached to it, right? We already discussed that a couple.
You need to go back to CRM training. Go back a couple episodes.
Yes.
You need to know that.
It will not be a waste of time. I promise you. Okay, you will learn. But then you have that search. Okay, and then what you do is you do the search on your own CRM, right? And then you get that long URL at the top, right? That has all the 74 results of all the homes with pools in Scottsdale between a certain price range or whatever you decide to do. You grab that URL, you go to bit.ly.com or tinyurl.com, and then you put that long, ugly URL in there, you hit go, and it gives you this nice, clean, short URL, which takes you to the same webpage, your CRM. Then you go into Facebook, okay, and then you post a copyright, right? A little headline that's catchy with something that says something along the fact of, boy, it's hot out because maybe it's summertime in your city or whatever, right? Have you ever would you like to see all the properties for sale in X city with pools? Click here, right? And then you paste the link right there. And it's that simple. You add a photo of some house. It doesn't have to be a listing you have or anything, just some house with a pool, or maybe it's a pool with somebody jumping in it or whatever it is that you get it off of stock images online. And there's your post. Now, when the eyeballs go there to look for whatever they're there to look for, they click on it. So that's intriguing. It's summertime, whatever. I'm hot. Yeah, let's see what they got going on. And then they, boom, click on it. They are redirected to your CRM, at which point your CRM is set to then pop up to have them register in the first or second or maybe third click of the mouse they make. And then they go, well, I want to see those list of homes. It's pretty specific to my interest. So I'll register. Boom. What did you just create? A free lead. Now, the ability to have all your follow-up systems kick into place, and away we go. Okay. And that was free. And then you should have like a spreadsheet. Now we're getting deeper on this, but you should have a spreadsheet that has all your groups listed with columns that go, horizontally across the sheet with dates of when the last time it was that you posted, because you really shouldn't be posting more than about 10 a day. You start getting about 10 a day, Facebook will flag that. They start saying what's going on here, right? Because real estate necessarily isn't the main group for all those groups, right? There's other topics that make up that group, not real estate. So you do that. But then if you have 100 groups and you do 10 a day, that's every 10 days. You do it just during the business days. That's 5 days, 5 business days during a week. That's 2 weeks. You end up posting in every single group once every 2 weeks. Not a bad strategy.
Good system. Yeah.
For free. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
That's one of the secrets.
There's so many though. There's so many secrets there's so many different ways I feel like that you can really go about this, but the main point is get those leads, whether you're paying for it, you're doing them for free. You've got to put in some work, even if you're on a team. Yep. You got to, exactly. You got to find those people, and then you got to nurture them and continue with your follow-up, because that's how you're going to get to conversion.
That's it.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our 5-part series on how to effectively launch your real estate career. So whether you are a new agent or somebody who maybe has been in this for a while, but needs to revamp and reset your kind of your whole mindset or your work, your work mind and routine. I think that this whole series has really been a huge help.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind too, we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
This goes so much deeper, guys. We know that today everyone has a very short attention span, right? They can't keep focused on a podcast or whatever too long. So in fact, most of y'all are probably listening to this at like 2 times speed, right? Like me, because you just can't. You wouldn't burn through it.
Are we sounding like squirrels or something right now?
Yes, exactly. So we just scratched the surface, guys. If you have more questions about these 5 core principles of starting or launching your real estate business, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to go through it with you guys. If you want ever to talk about coaching, private coaching, it's something we can talk about doing as well on a weekly basis. that helps you get your business going. And then, guys, at the end of the day, you have to be accountable to somebody. Everyone in this country, I don't care how rich or powerful you are still accountable to someone or some group of people. So you have to be accountable. People who will take you account, and that's what coaching does. All right. So coaching will help be held accountable. Coaching will help you brainstorm and break through that glass ceiling that's keeping you from getting to the next level in your business. So highly recommend that. Give us a call with any questions about any of that stuff. And Elizabeth, they can reach us here at the office at 480-442-9868 or info@kellycookhomes.com.
Perfect. We've got our 5-part series down, but we are in no way done with our podcast. So tune in for the next episode, and we will have something awesome for you.
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right. We'll see you next time, Kelly.
Okay. Thanks, Elizabeth.